In our final video focusing on classes, we'll be going over how to populate classes with students. From the GradeLink dashboard, select the Populate Classes tab. At the top center of the page is the Class menu, where you'll select the class you want to add students to. On the left side of the page is the student list, and on the right is a list of all students populated into the selected class. The student list on the left can be sorted by first name, last name, or student ID. Additionally, you can filter the list to view only specific grade levels, divisions, or even students already populated in a specific class. To populate students into a class, we'll first select a class from the drop-down menu at the top of the page. Then, we'll select students from the list on the left. Finally, we'll hit Add. If you'd like to select multiple students at once, click and drag your cursor through the list. If you'd like to select multiple individual students, hold Control or Command on a Mac, and then pick out the students you need. Some schools have multiple classes or even an entire grade level taught by a single teacher. To save time, the box labeled Add Remove Students to All Classes in the center of the page allows selected students to be populated into every class taught by a specific teacher. When you select a student from the list on the left, a preview schedule will appear that displays other classes that student is populated in. If you try to add the student to a class and they already have a class scheduled for that period, it will appear in red on the preview schedule. Furthermore, an error message will pop up warning of the potential scheduling conflict. It is possible to override this restriction, but we'll talk about that when we go over settings later in training. To remove a student from a class, select them from the list on the right and hit Remove. By default, GradeLink will not let you remove a student from a class if they have any attendance or grade data entered. Students that can't be removed appear in gray on the list on the right. The only way to remove these students is by manually deleting all of their grade and attendance data. While we don't recommend it, we'll go over how to bypass this restriction when we go over settings later in the training. This wraps up our discussion on classes. Join us for our next video where we go over attendance.